What you're looking at is Foundry Wellness on Wheels. Foundry Kelowna has been in operation for a few years now, and we've served over 4,000 individual youth and thousands of services from primary medical care to counseling services and social services under our roof. And one of the things we heard from our families, from youth in the community, was that there are people on the fringes of the geographical city that are having difficulty accessing service. What we pulled from our data was that we're underrepresented in areas like Peachland, Glen Rosa, Lake Country, West Bank First Nations, and transportation is one of those barriers. So that's not going to be an issue for you anymore. No longer are you going to have to take a full day off school or a half day off of work for your parents to get you to Foundry. We're going to come to you, and we're starting small, so we'll be a few key locations.
What comes with it?
Well, I think the key services will be counseling and youth navigation, as well as we have a medical room on board. So depending on the area and the needs presented by the area, we'll be able to offer things like STI screening, general physical health checkups, and for well-being. And maybe it's not the place where they end up for their service, but it's certainly a place to start, and whether referrals can happen and connection to services within their community or to specialists beyond, that'll be a good starting point for them.
A really bright and inviting look to it. How did it come together, and are you happy with it?
Very happy with it. I mean, I've been kind of driving it around the city for the last while without the wrap on it. It's just a big white unit. So now that the wrap is on, it's very striking. I get a lot of attention as I'm driving it around town, and a lot of comments that I can hear people making as I'm stopped at red lights. It's a giant billboard, and it's you notice when it's in town. It's 38 feet long and very high, so you're not going to miss it. But you know that it wasn't something that I decided on. It wasn't something that we decided as adults on. We turned that back over to the youth. We engaged more than 100 youth around the Central Okanagan for input on design. So everything that you see, from the color to the graphics, that's all been chosen and selected by young people.
Do you expect it to bring more people who could use some assistance from the Foundry getting that help?
Yeah, I think so. I think ultimately we want just another option, freedom to access, at their own pace. So if someone's ready to access today, great. If they're not, they know that something's close by for when they need it, they can. And we're hoping it's only used as needed. We don't want to attach anyone long-term who doesn't need to be attached, or pathologized or stigmatized with mental illnesses or disorders. This is something that everybody from mild to moderate to more complex issues can access. So hopefully we've removed or started to remove one of those barriers, which is, how do I get started? That's always the most difficult. We find our feedback is walking through the front door is always the most challenging part. So if we can eliminate that or reduce the issues that causes, then I think we're well on the way to having a better mentally healthy community.
Terrific. Pam Macaulay, thanks for telling us about it.
Thanks for having me.